All right, y'all. Let's get this stream on the road here. Sorry, I was eating a little something here. All right, another Friday, and a lot of stuff going on under the radar that I just kind of wanted to jump on. Some people asked me about some of this stuff, and I just want to give my quick thoughts today. You know, because we got interesting fight weekend too. I mean, we got some boxing this weekend. I'm gonna be watching. What else? We got ONE FC, and of course, you got UFC. Let me see what time the UFC card starts. I keep forgetting. All right, 4:00. No, 4:30 now. Keep changing the time. 4:30 because you had 4 cancellations, so they moved it up to 4:30. Okay. All right. So yeah, what's going on, y'all? Back with another live. Just a few things I wanted to talk about, give quick thoughts on about what's going on in the WMMA circuit here. Like I said, of course, we got these fights coming up this weekend, but just to fill y'all in, once again, Haley Cowan is not going to be making her debut. She was taken on to Mira's Vidal, but Vidal had to be pulled from the card due to some medical issues. So she was forced to pull off the card this Saturday because of some medical issues. I don't know what kind of medical issues, but yeah, sucks on Haley Cowan. She can't seem to get her start. So hopefully they can try to reschedule this or reschedule the Eileen Perez fight or whatever, however they want to do it. But it's a norm for us, right? Every time you have 1, 2, 3, 4 fights, at least one of them or two of them get canceled. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Haley Cowan's fight is getting canceled again. Last time out, it got canceled because of her. She had like some cyst issues or something like that. She posted on Instagram. I can't remember right now, but it's still there. It's still there if you want to find out. She had like some not really like serious injuries because she's coming back, but it was something enough to push the fight off. Yeah, Eileen Perez. I know she's gonna be trying to get this fight back. She'll be trying to get this one back. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, just in case you were looking forward to this one, it's a canceled deal. So yeah, another one on this card bites the dust. So that's 4 fights on this card. That's off now. Oh, hold on, my mic making noise here. There we go. Yeah, that's 4 fights off now. We got that Brogan Walker fight got canceled, and then the Alex Sierras fight got canceled. So that's adding to the bunch. Yeah. Eileen Perez trying to get that fight back with Cowan. Yeah, she's trying to get that one back. Yeah. Perez, she. Oh boy, let's look at her Twitter. She talking again? Yeah, we'll look into that later. But yeah, that's all. We still got Macy and Andrea Lee. Thank goodness. Macy made weight. As y'all can see, he still looks like a solid flyweight, man. I don't know why she wants to, make that move right now when things are looking good. Well, we know why. I think she feels like her chances could be better at 115. But just looking at her at the weigh-in, she looks like, full-fledged flyweight still. She looks solid. She's definitely like not as soft looking as she used to. She's definitely putting on that muscle, and with help of her nutritionist, she's making that weight. Right? Has Macy ever came in overweight? Like, she's always kind of made weight too, right? Like Macy Barber, I don't think she's ever really been one to like mess up on her weigh-ins, has she? Mackenzie Dern has in the past. I don't want to mix them two up. I know Mackenzie Dern has, but um, let me see. Macy Barber's never missed weight, right? Let's see. she's had bad weight cuts. Like she's had some rough weight cuts where she kill herself to get down. But yeah, Macy, I don't think she's ever missed weight. I can't I can't get mad at her. That's why I got to give this girl credit. She's a true fighter. You know what I mean? Like she plays by the rules and she's always on it. Let me see, Macy Barber. Uh, uh, uh. Ooh, let me see. I think she might have missed weight back at strawweight, but that's. I'll give her a pass on that. I'm talking flyweight. Let me look up. I just like to do a little history before I mess around here. Let me see. In a perfect world, I would still be fighting at 115, but I also feel like a big 125. Let me see. Oh, by half a pound. She missed like half a pound, like way back. Yeah. Yeah. I was just reading it just now. She missed weight like by half a pound. Like she came in 116.5. Whoa. Wow. That's a lot, right? So for the most part, she's never really missed weight. So I'm not gonna ever say she's one that is, not disciplined. She's undisciplined. She doesn't really try. She's always on her weight. Even back then, I think she was just kind of growing into 125. But now that she's got the right nutritionist, she's been on the right diets, she's been cutting it down, and she could probably do 115 now, right? You know? Yeah, I don't know either. Now that the belt has changed, I don't know. Macy Barber might really be interested in staying at 125 now, because she is bent on trying to get this rematch with Alexa Grasso. She makes it sound like it's not that far away, but in my opinion, this fight is still too far away for her. I'm just being real. Like, I won't say it's like 2 or 3 years away, but with the task that Alexa Grasso has in front of her, do you really think Alexa Grasso is worried about a rematch with Macy Barber right now? That's not a rematch that's going to happen. The rematch that's going to happen first is the championship fight, against the former champion. That's the fight that's going to happen first. Macy Barber, she's got to get in line and do something major. So her talking about a fight with Alexa Grasso right now, that's just like fall off in the cards. I mean, I'm glad she wants to try to go for the belt. She wants to fight the champion. She's calling the champion out, but it makes more sense for her to just worry about Andrea Lee, because Andrea Lee, to me, style wise, could be a dangerous fight for her. This is still like a 50-50 fight. I'm picking Macy Barber to win this fight, but Andrea Lee could pull out this victory. She's got the skills to pull this fight out. So I'm not gonna sit here and say she's gonna run through this fighter and run through that fighter and boom, Macy gets her shot. No, Macy's gotta wait. Macy gotta wait in line, because again, even if Grasso doesn't fight Shevchenko, like let's say they don't make that fight, they don't make the fight with Valentina right away. Grasso still has other names out here. She still has the Santos, Manon, Blanchfield, girls that are way ahead of her, right? So that's not a fight that's going to happen. But if she wants to stay in the weight class, fine. Go ahead and stay in the weight class. That's cool. Stay, get better, get better as a fighter and grow into the weight, get stronger, and eventually she'll get there. Especially if she can go in here first and tackle Andrea Lee. Again, Andrea Lee's got the skill sets to really tell us if Macy is on that level now. Because Macy, she's passed all the lower tests. She'll beat a Montana. She'll beat a older Jessica I. But she could barely beat Miranda Maverick. Which I'm gonna still say again, I don't think she won that fight. She could still beat a fighter on the lower level. Like, who else did she beat? JJ Aldridge. She can handle those type of fighters. But when she stepped it up against Roxy, which I know she said she tore ACL in the first round, she'll lose to. But when the skills were just too polished, like Alexa Grasso, a few fights back, she couldn't handle that. So I think it's just a step by step process, man. Macy just got to keep doing what she's doing. Stop calling out Alexa Grasso. It's not going to happen right now. Too many other fighters ahead of her that are better, and they're just ready. They're already ready for it. You know what I mean? Gary said, Macy trying to pull a Andrade. Wild Tiger, what's going on? He said she's trying to pull an Andrade. Oh, how you mean? So how you mean trying to move down to get a title shot at 115? Shoot, she might have to fight Andrade if they keep playing around. If she keep playing around like that, I mean, wherever she goes, she's gonna have to take on some big, big competition. Gabby said, I think she wants to be like Andrade, fighting 115 and 125, be in title contention in two weight classes and more options and more money. She's still young. Yeah, yeah. I mean, now would be the time to do it. At her age, she could move up and down in weight. But really, I don't know if she's got like the same type of power and strength factor like Andrade does, right? Andrade's beat a lot of fighters. Andrade's beat in dominant fashion. So she's kind of got the credibility, the reputation, and the resume to jump up and down in weight and kind of be a threat to everybody. Macy, that's kind of a blueprint to beat her. Like she can hit hard, she's got power, but we've seen her outskilled, in fights with Grasso, Roxy, even Miranda. Like she's got that power, but she doesn't really have that scary factor like Andrade does at both weight classes. So I think that um, she could do it. I don't know if she could be. I don't think she could capitalize on it the same way as Andrade. Hold on here, but yeah, she's made weight. Everybody else has made weight. Andrew Lee's made weight. Holly Holmes made weight. Yana's made weight. So hopefully we can at least have these two fights. Like I said, I really wasn't looking forward to the Holly fight like that, but it's a fight. I just want to see what she's gonna do at this point. She's still calling for a title shot. I mean, I don't think that's very wise of her to be calling for a title shot because I don't think she'll ever beat Amanda Nunes, really. Uh, let's pull up these weigh-ins real quick. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Let's see, Andrea Lee. Let's see what weight she came in at. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pull this up. People are talking about the audio and the camera quality of these weigh-ins. Hold on. Dang. Is the audio that bad on this? Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of static right there. Feedback. Okay. So Andrea Lee is 126 pounds. Hold on. Let's see Macy Barber. Yeah, Macy Barber made 125. Ooh, that audio is bad. Yeah, Macy actually looks good. Like, doesn't look too heavy, doesn't even look too if you look at it both ways, doesn't look too heavy. She doesn't look too like skeletal either. Like she was having trouble making the weight. So we'll see. We'll see if 115 is still in the cards. But right now, I think she looks like a fit flyweight. And she could have a lot of success there. So maybe that's where she should be. Gabby said, who can Barber realistically beat at 115 ranking wise? I think she could beat Carla Esparza. I think she could beat Carla, who's pretty high in rankings. So that would probably be the move to make. I don't think she would fight Yan Janan since they train together. Could she beat Rose? I don't know. I don't even know if she could beat Rose, man. Like that's a different level of a fighter, and like Rose's footwork. That fight might be like Alexa Grasso all over again in some ways. Um, Andrade, that would be a crazy fight. Actually, I think the way that style would match up, I think her and Andrade would probably be a good fight, good close fight. Andrade, I see, I, I see Marina Rodriguez being a tough fight for it too. Like, yeah, I do. Off top, like the one I could really be sure about, just because of the size, and I think we almost say it's a shoe in, would be like Carla Esparza to me. Um, real MVP said he thinks Carla would win. Carla's a good wrestler, but you have to factor in like physicality too. So I think that's a fight she might have some trouble with. Gabby said Barber versus Suarez at 115. I'm gonna have to go with Suarez in that one. I think Suarez would be one. I think she could win that fight. Dern and Hill's, I mean not Dern and Hill, but Dern and Barber. That's a good one. Dern and Barber's a good fight. Hill on the feet versus Barber, that would be tricky, man. She might piece up Barber, man. Hill got a good chin too. I think that would be an interesting fight, man. She'd be putting, them little pity pat combinations on her and might be frustrating Barber. So, that's one of them type of fights that I think that she would have some trouble with there. But when that clinch comes into play and maybe some takedowns, she might be able to overpower Angela Hill. Let me see here. So yeah, Macy 125. Andrea Lee made 126. Everybody looks like they're on point. Let me see. Holly 125. And Yana, did she make 126? Was it 125? It was 125, right? Regardless, everybody's made weight. Everybody's on point with their weight. So no issues there. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Yes, not 125, 135. Excuse me. Yeah, Yana Santos made 135 on the dot. That's one thing about Holly too. Like Holly 135.5, and she looked drained too. That's one thing about Holly, man. Like she don't be missing weight. She's still not missing weight. So hey, gotta give her some credit there. I wonder if Brogan will win. Oh, the Brogan fight is off. Wild Tiger. The Brogan fight's off. It's been her fight's been moved to what? April. Yeah, her fight's been moved to April now. Real MVP said Barbara keeps her head way too high. Is it? Or she just got a big head? You know what I mean? Like I don't know if like it's that her head is like up in the air because she'll tuck her chin. Like Macy Barber will tuck her chin. I don't think her head is like up high. I think maybe she just got a long head. So you know what I mean. Like even if she dips her head down, it's still there. So Gabby said Pinheiro versus Barber. Barber versus Cody. I would go Barber versus Cody and Pinheiro, actually. Like, I think Barber has enough skills to fit right into the mid ranking somewhere, maybe like number 10. To some of those girls, I think she will beat a strawweight pretty easy. Like, her power was kind of fierce when she was down there at 125, if I remember correctly, right? Like 115. So I don't really see like some of those girls at the bottom having her having too much trouble with them. Yeah, Irene Aldana, about time she fights for the belt. Gary said Lucinda is going to destroy Brogan. Yeah, that girl's she's looking fierce right now. Like she's her first fight, what I mean? Like she came in looking sharp, brawling style, tough. Brogan, she's been around for a minute. She's been around for a minute. And Lucinda, I'm expecting her to have more power at 125 too. Yeah, I would like Felicity though, to win. I mean, she's a tough fighter. Put on an exciting fight in her debut. I would love that. Yeah, let me see the date for that one because I just wanted to, fill y'all in on that. Yeah, Brogan fight moved. So Brogan Walker is going to fight Lucindo April 22nd, right? Hold on, I'm just saying that off top. So let me verify the date. Yeah, April 22nd. It's on the Pavlovich and Blaze card. All right. What else we got going on though, man? Moving on here. Oh yeah, Montserrat Ruiz. Montserrat Ruiz is back into training now. So she's been posting on her Facebook that she's getting back into the mix. Let me see. What's one of her most recent posts besides this one? She's been training with a few people. So I just want to pull that up real quick. Yamatsi Kuneho. Here it is. Okay. Ooh. Trying to pull up her page here, but okay, here we go. Yeah. Monday she posted up some photos of her getting that work in. A couple of weeks ago, she's posted up some photos of her getting her wrestling in. A few weeks before that, a few days ago before that, she's been back into the UFC PI. So yeah, Montserrat Ruiz is looking to get back in action soon. She's been also going to Vegas Boxing Gym, Pearl Gonzalez, and I believe Emily Whitmire, some of those fighters working on her boxing. So yeah, she seems to be back on that path. No fight sign yet. No fight sign yet for Ruiz. But hopefully we see what she can do, man, because last time she's been out was time she got knocked out, right, against Amanda Lemos. And then she had that injury. So she's been out, I want to say, almost 2 years? Hold on, let me see here. Montserrat Ruiz has been out since July of 2021. Yeah, since getting first round knockout. Getting knocked out in the first round by Amanda Lemos. So yeah, she's been out for a minute. I mean, she came into the UFC with that ferocity, man. She came in tossing Cheyenne Valismus around, and I thought that fight was actually entertaining, man. Like I like the build up to that fight too. They were talking a lot of smack. I thought that was a good fight. I like that fight. Because Valismus was talking mad junk too, man. She was talking mad junk, and she was like, "Oh, all she can do is wrestle." But she's like, that's all she can do is wrestle, but she ain't gonna get me down like that. Next thing you know, round after round, Ruiz is just tossing her. She's just tossing. I'm just looking at a playback right now. Like Ruiz just head tossing Cheyenne Valismus. And if I remember correctly, Corey McKenna was having some success with some good takedowns like that. That's why I don't know, man. If Cheyenne Valismus had to fight somebody even like Sam Hughes with much better wrestling, I think she would probably toss her around just like that, or just really control her and get good takedowns. That's something that Cheyenne has to work on, man. Like her takedown defense and her wrestling. So yeah, man, it's been about 2 years. Hopefully this girl can come back, man. Like how long has it been? July 17, 2021. So she pretty much can fit right in though to real MVP. So that fight was funny. Yeah, man, that jump was funny, man. Like it wasn't like it was just funny, man. Like the way Cheyenne said she could take this girl, and she was like, "Oh, all she can do is the same head toss," and that's what it was that controlled her that whole fight. Like that head toss, like she had no answer for it. She had no answer. She could not get a jab going. She couldn't get no striking going. Amanda Lemos had to show her what was up. Amanda Lemos said, "Look, this is how you do it." She measured well in that fight, landed a couple good right hands, dropped Ruiz with ease, and that was it, man. So I just thought that was kind of funny, like the build up, and then the way somebody edited the whole fight together, where it cut right in her getting tossed around. Yeah, Velismus versus Melissa Martinez. Might have to go with Velismus in that one. I think Melissa Martinez, she's real small though. Like maybe her striking can be effective as long as she can keep it standing. But Melissa Martinez, she's kind of a small strawweight. She is a small strawweight. So I would lean more towards Ruiz, even with Ruiz being out for 2 years. She's still young. That's what's crazy though, man. Like she's 30 now, just turned 30, missed two years of your 20s in the UFC. But I mean, hey, that's how it happens sometimes, right? Last time she had a fight was she was 28, so fought twice in 2021, and then boom, she was gone. So hopefully, they do some interviews with her, kind of find out, what was the holdup, like how bad was this injury, that she had. I mean, apparently it was bad, but hopefully they can sign her up with something. Gabby said Ruiz versus Yasmin. That's not a bad fight. That's not a bad one. I know people would get mad though and say, "Oh man, well if Yasmin wins, she fought a fighter that was out for too long." You know what I mean? Like they won't give Yasmin credit for that. So I don't know if that would be such a good idea, because if they did, people gonna say something about that fight. They're gonna be like, "Oh man, like Yasmin beat a fighter that's been out for 2 years. She ain't proved nothing yet." You know what I mean? And that's the thing about Yasmin. You want to see her grow as a fighter. It's not like she's delusional. Like that's the thing I like about Yasmin Haurigi. Like she's not delusional about it. She's trying to grow. Like she's trying to get that ranking by earning it. No BS. She's not letting the UFC just decide for her. She's trying to fight slowly and gradually improve. And there should be no rush to that. There should be no timestamp on that. Like, oh, you got to be in the rankings by this time. No, she don't have to do that. So maybe Yasmin can take on somebody that can wrestle and go for takedowns, but that is a little bit more active. But if they made Ruiz fighter, I'd watch it though. I think it would turn out to be like a good striker versus wrestler type of fight. I mean, I would have to say Yasmin would win because she's active and stronger, but you never know, man, when that head toss comes into play, right? But I don't see Yasmin falling victim like Cheyenne, because she's physically stronger than Cheyenne. Right down to from the upper body down to her legs. She's a strong fighter. So maybe Ruiz could fight one of these girls, like you said, Melissa Martinez, Loma Labugni versus Melissa. I'd probably go with Loma in that fight. Yeah, Ruiz versus Dudakova. That's not a bad fight. I mean, Dudakova's out on injury. She could come back and take her on. And, Ruiz is not a fighter that has a lot of dimensions to her. She's got 2 fights in the UFC. Okay. She's 1-1. Dudakova versus Ruiz is doable. Both have about the similar level of experience, not too far off. Ruiz being out 2 years, it kind of it kind of levels out the playing field a little bit. So I like that one probably the best for it. Ruiz versus Dudakova. That'd be a nice fight. Or at some point, I think style-wise, Ruiz versus Tabitha Ricci be interesting. Ruiz versus Ricci, they're about like the same size, and you got one who's a jiu-jitsu practitioner versus a wrestler. I would like to see how that would play out, Real MVP said I don't like any of these matches because I don't want them to lose. I mean, yeah, that's a part of the game, man. Like that's how it is with flyweight. You know, there's some fighters that I like, but eventually they're gonna have to start fighting each other. And then I'm like, I don't want to see them lose. You know. Robot Chicken, what's up? He said Masra is the prettiest one trick pony in the world. He said the prettiest one trick pony in the world. I don't think she would take offense to that, right? Because she'd be like, hey, she'll say, okay, I am pretty, but she'll be like, hey, I'm improving as a fighter, right? At least that's the one thing you can improve on, right? You can't improve on looks. No matter how much surgery you get, you can't improve on looks. At least you can improve on skills. So calling her a one trick pony, I don't think she would take too much offense to that, right? Because she can grow out of that. But Carnelossi versus Yasmin. Oh, that's a name. Yeah, that's a strong physical fighter right there that she could fight. Told you these names keep on coming. Sometimes like I just forget them. You know, unless I sit down and do my research, which I did, you know, a number of times. You got like over 20 something straw weights that you could choose from in the unranked levels alone. So yeah, Carnelossi, yeah, I about forgot about her. Then you got Bruno Brazil. Actually, you know, Bruno Brazil and Dudakova would probably be the fight. They were the winner of their contender series bouts, and Bruno Brazil looked the best to me, right? Bruno Brazil got her knockout. You know, Bruno Brazil got her knockout, but she's taking on Denise Gomes. That's right. You know, she's taking on Denise Gomes next month. So that's going to be a test. Denise Gomes is brutal. Man, I want to see, you know, a fight I want to see, Gabby. Y'all know if I want to see Denise Gomes versus Yasmin Lucindo. Them two Brazilian girls, they are rough right there, man. I would love to see Denise Gomes and Lucindo go at it, man. That would be a rough fight right there. Oh, Kanako Murata, man, where is she? Her as well. Her as well, man. Kanako Murata, man. Like I've been waiting on her to come back. I don't think she she's been training. Like I've looked at some updates. Like she's been training as well this year, but I don't know if she's coming back this year. I would love to see her come back this year. But she's another one, like her and Ruiz, both been out about the same time, 2 years. Like they both lost, like I believe it was like back to back. I don't know if it was the same month, but around the same time, you know, Kanako loses, then Ruiz loses, and they both lost hard. You know, they both got stopped. So, you know, hopefully she can come back soon. I know she had a serious break in her arm, right, from that submission that Verna put on her. And I called that too. I was like, you know what? Kanako get reckless in there. She will get put in an arm bar. She will get put in an arm bar. And it was the arm bar, she survived it, even though it broke. But later on, the referee, they had to just stop it. Bruno versus Yasmin. That'd be a good stand-up fight. Loma and Lucindo. Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy fight. All of those fights are like violent fights, man. Denise Gomes, though, that's gonna be a good fight with Bruno Brazil. Bruno Brazil, she's got the ability to control it. You know, she's a good size. She's a good size strawweight. Bruno Brazil is. I believe she's like 5'6", long. Yeah. She's 5'6". She's long. A little bit more filled out than Marina Rodriguez. You know, like Marina's a little bit slimmer. Bruno Brazil's a little bit more like toned and more muscular. You know, so she looks like a strong strawweight that could eventually move up to 125. All right. So yeah, Ruiz, we'll see what's up with her. Oh yeah, we got this other fight too, man. Like, and this is what I'm talking about. Even on low level, like you got to give Miranda Maverick a lot of credit here. Like, even though like these aren't big names that she's calling out, because she knows that she still need to get in a few more good fights to really test her skills and improve. Miranda calls out names, you know what I mean? Like Miranda will call out names, and She'll tag matchmakers to let you know, hey, I'm ready. I want this fight. I want to fight so and so. And she'll tag that person in it, whether it's Macy Barber or Molly McCann or now Jazzy. So now that she called out Jazzy after Jazzy beat Gabriela Fernandez, they locked in this fight for June, right? So Miranda Maverick is taking on Jazzy Vicious, as I like to call her. She's taking her on, what's the date? June 10th, a few months from now. So that'll be Miranda's first fight this year, which has left her out for like 7 months. So she's been calling for fights. Miranda's been calling for fights, but I remember a while back she had said that they asked like 4 different opponents to fight Miranda, but four opponents turned her down. And I believe that maybe one of them was like Macy Barber, because if that's a rematch she says she wants to take on Macy Barber in a rematch, but Macy Barber doesn't want that fight. Macy Barber wants that Alexa Grasso rematch. So now Macy knows how it feels. She won't give Miranda a rematch. Grasso won't give her a rematch. So how you like that? All right. But yeah, Miranda, she's still working, so I don't think she's in really like this big rush to be calling out some higher up names. So if she sees somebody around her that can be her first fight of the year, I understand why she's calling out Jasmine. She hasn't fought any this year yet. She's been looking for fights, but nobody's been signed a contract with her. So as soon as she saw Molly McCann win, she called her out. They didn't make that fight. Well, Molly McCann got destroyed by Aaron. They gave it to her instead. So she goes, calls out Jasmine. This should be doable because she'll want to fight right away. She gets that fight. And that's all I'm saying. A lot of these fighters out here, they just need to start calling people out. When you want to fight, it'll make it easy. If you're in the same division and you're like the same level and you want to fight, the matchmakers, I think for the most part, they grant you your wish, right? Unless they got something else in store for you. Like if you're some hype job, then they won't necessarily let you pick and choose your fights. They'll pick and choose, right? But the other fighters have to work hard. Like you have a fighter like Miranda who's not necessarily being hyped up. You have to kind of call your shots at times, but sometimes that works out better. The real MVP said, what happened to Mizuki Inoue? I think she got cut. I believe she got cut. I believe she was on a list of names that had got cut because it's been a minute now. Like let me double check here. I believe she got cut because her last fight was almost 3 years ago. Let's see. She was in the UFC for only like 2 fights too, man. She was in Invicta for a while, Deep Jewels, but she was only in the UFC for like, like 2 fights. Did she get cut? Let me see. Did Mizuki Inoue get cut? I'm just looking right here. Hold on. Let's see. UFC. Oh, okay. In November 2020, Inoue underwent surgery to repair an anterior cruciate ligament injury. So she had an ACL injury in 2020. I wonder if like she never really recovered from that. I wonder if she just kind of been on the back burner. Like maybe the UFC still has her contract, active. I don't know. Kel Quest, what's up? He said, I wonder what Holm can do to bring something new or surprising in this fight. Oh man, you asking for a miracle right there. I personally don't know. Yeah, I don't think an ACL should take that long either. Maybe like 9 months to a year. Like a year, like with Macy Barber and like Casey O'Neill. Maybe Manon, she tore a ligament, and her injury is probably taking what 8 or 9 months, and we don't even know if it's going to be 100% yet. But it must be something else there. There must be something else going on with NOA, but I hope she's all right though, because she's only had 2 fights in the UFC. Slight of mine, what's going on, man? Hope you feeling better, man. What was you sore the other day? Hope everything is good. Hope everything is good. Pierre Rodriguez gets ranked if she wins against Robertson. I don't see why not. Like, that would be her third win in the UFC, right? She beat Sam Hughes. Who else did Pierre Rodriguez beat? Let me see. If she beats G Rob, I think that's worthy of getting a ranking. Okay, Kay Hansen. She beat Kay Hansen, and she beat Sam Hughes. And if you beat Jillian Robertson and she's undefeated, and if she does it in like some dominant type of fashion, and again she's undefeated, I think that out of most of the girls, she'll probably be looking the best, right? I think beating G Rob is going to be more impressive than Ricci beating and finishing Jessica Panay, honestly. Like, what do y'all think, Gabby? Like, don't you think? Like, I think a win over G Rob is more impressive than Ricci's beating Panay. But I mean, I'm not knocking that way. I'm just saying, like, to me, that's enough to get her into the rankings instead, you know? But yeah, shout out to Ricci for beating Panay. I mean, the fashion that she did, because that was a big jump in level for her. That was a big skill level jump for Ricci, because I thought Panay was going to win that fight. But I'm just saying, like, comparing the two, Jillian Robertson just is so much more dangerous, I think, and younger, has more finishes in the UFC. So I think that would be impressive for Pierre Rodriguez if she could get that victory. Okay, Sliderman said thanks. Yeah, I'm still a bit banged up, but I'm hanging in there, just laying down right now. He's had a few injuries, but it is what it is. Yeah, man, that's all you can do at this point, right? Just let time do its thing, heal up, and chill. The body will let you know. The body will let you know when it's time to rest, right? Whether it be work or play, the body would tell you when to sit your behind down, right? So yeah, Jazzy versus Miranda. I think this is a winnable fight for Miranda, but don't count out Jazzy. Jazzy's a big girl. I mean, she's like a wall in some ways. I mean, the way she keeps on coming and she takes these shots, and once she's on you, she's on you. She's strong. Like what Natalia Silva did to Jasmine, that's because of that skill level and style. That style of that particular style of Natalia Silva it's just the speed, the combination, the staying away from that size. Somebody like that, Natalia Silva, she can get away with certain things in there. She has the athleticism, the speed, to move around and do certain things to stay away from that type of danger that she presents. But if you go a little stationary, you try to meet her in the middle, that's where it makes it a tough fight. Like Miranda doesn't fight like Natalia Silva. She can wrestle, she can grapple. So I think if you leave Jasmine any room to get at you, it could make it a rough night. I still think Miranda has enough skills to win this one. I think her striking is better, but it's all if you can chop that wall down, man, because this girl can take a shot. Jasmine, she'll take punches to get in and close in on you, land some big shots, take you down. So let's see if her size can play a factor. I mean, I think Miranda's striking is getting better, so she could take a page out of Natalia's book to a certain level of just moving and pot shot. Might not have the same speed as Natalia Silva, but she still has the strength and even takedown defense. Like if she knows how to escape like from big girls, she's fought Victoria Leonardo, she's fought her and beat her before some of these other girls did. I mean, she handled her pretty well. Like, actually was picking her up. She survived against Aaron Blanchfield. So I think when she's already been in with high level fighters like that, Macy Barber, who's a hard hitter, even on the ground against Jillian Robertson, I don't really see Miranda having too much trouble with the technique of Jasmine. It's going to be more about dealing with her gas tank and not getting intimidated or frustrated when Jasmine takes her best shots. Like, sometimes fighters get frustrated with that. When you hit somebody in the chin and they keep coming, you get frustrated. But hey, not everybody going to go down. You just got to take a shot, keep it moving. Deliver the shot, keep it moving. It's still points, right? So I think those are the things you have to worry about in a fight with a big flyweight like Jasmine. It's just her tank and how she's going to keep coming at you and just her durability. So if Miranda got some pop on her shots, if she sits down on them, maybe she could do some serious damage. We'll see. We'll see. Who do I got in the Holly Holm and Santos fight and Liam Barber? As a Holly fan, I'm kind of going for Holly in this fight. I'm not really like 100% sure, even on this co-main event. It's like, I think Santos and Holm, they know each other. Maybe not, to the extent they did a few years ago. Of course, Santos, she's changed as a fighter. She's evolved. Holly Holm, she has in some ways kind of gone down a little bit. It's really hard to go with a solid. I think Holly Holm, if she's rested up and still has even half of her speed, maybe she could win this fight on points here. But if she comes in here even like slow motion like she did against Ketlin Vieira, Santos can use her size. Yana Santos definitely has that size. That could be problems for Holly once she lays on her, clinches up with her. If she cuts that cage off and she gets past a few of those combinations from Holly, some of those combinations, they tend to be the same from Holly. So once you get her timing down, you can shut it down. You can land in between her combinations, like a couple big shots, or timer, drop a level and take her down. So when I look at how it could go on the ground, I kind of favor Yana. She's younger. She's long, she's big, and she has these moments in fights where she'll just go in there and lay on you. You know what I mean? Like she kept Ketlin Vieira down. She kept Ketlin Vieira down. So if it goes to the ground, I would think that Yana could probably keep Holly on her back. But if Holly still has her legs, I think she could still win a decision. This is a 3-round fight too, right? This is a 3-round fight. So I think Holly, if she can even muster up some of what she used to do, I think she can win the fight. Lee and Barber, I'm gonna go with Barber. Sleight of mind. Again, I think Barber. I'm kind of picking Barber in this one because I think the skills that she's learned over the past few years, working with a camp like Faber, and I think that she'll be more committed to using even the amount of tools that she has more than Andrea Lee. Like, Andrea Lee's got a lot more tools, I think, but she just does not commit enough in a fight. That's why it makes it hard to pick her. Like, it's a 50-50 fight, but if I had to choose like the one that commits more and likes to pull the trigger and goes for the kill, it would be Barber. It would be Barber in this fight. But again, not going to count Lee out completely here because Lee does show up sometimes, and when she does, it's danger. She showed up in the Arujo fight for the time being, you know what I mean? But when Arujo started to really wear on her and started taking her down and wrestle the hell out, man, she started kind of falling apart. And that's where it kind of that's where it kind of sails for me, on like really going with Andrea Lee in a fight. She doesn't put it together enough, and when she does, it kind of falls apart. It kind of falls apart on her. I haven't seen Macy Barber fall apart. Never. As much as we talk about she needs to learn this and she needs to work on that, Macy Barber's never really like crumbled in a fight. I mean, this girl torn ACL. You could see the pain in her face, like when it tore in that round, and when she fell, she was bleeding. Roxanne was like snapping her head back with a few jabs, but she was still in the fight, right? Alexa Grasso, she was piecing up Macy Barber for 2 good rounds. You know what I mean? Like, but there was something in her in that third round that says I got to come back and fight hard. So Macy, that's going to keep her in this fight, like not just the gas tank, but her ability to endure. She can keep on coming. Like, there's no quit in her. There's no quit in her. I haven't seen her fall apart. So with that, I have to kind of go with Barber in this one. Again, that's not 100%, I know, but that's just what I see. I see Barber wanting it more at this point in her career. I mean, she's making all the necessary changes, even like to her body, her diet. She's looking good. Skills. Still talks, she still talks, but you ain't never going to take that at Barber. You know what I mean? Like, she knows that she still needs to tell her story and build her brand. So she's going to talk. Like, Macy Barber's always going to be talking trash. I mean, we might as well just live with that. Right? What's next for Cowan? Does she fight Vidal or Perez? Either one of them. I think I would prefer the Eileen Perez fight just because that was the first one. Matter of fact, y'all, let's go look at Eileen Perez's Twitter, because it's been a while since I read one of her tweets. She likes to talk trash, and I think it was Gary Baldwin had brought that up, that she's in talking trash again. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, Andrea Lee's kickboxing, it's good stuff when she uses it. You know what I mean? Like, her jab is long. She's got a good jab. She's got some good head kicks too. How she'll measure sometimes with her straight punches, and then she'll throw that head kick. She's got some good, and she's got a good tie clinch. Like, Andrea Lee has a good tie clinch. If she can work this into this fight here, she could take some wind out of Macy Barber and maybe change the course. But she's got to be smart with it, because that could be a point where Macy Barber gets into that clinch and starts landing them elbows, man. Like, Macy got some hard elbows, man. She rocked Montana and dogged out Jessica Eye with some big elbows on the inside. You know what I mean? So let's see how Andrea Lee can take them things. All right. Let's see how she can take some of them shots. Don't forget this too, man. Like, Andrea Lee may strike well, right? But sleight of mind, this is what I always notice. All of her fights, just about all Andrea Lee's fights, she bleeding by the first round. And I think it's either the blood that kind of slows her down. Again, this is my take. You know what I mean? Like, I know Andrea Lee fans probably gonna get mad, or if anybody in the camp hears it, hey, this is my take and this is what I see, because this is how the fights play out. All right. But Andrea Lee, when she starts to bleed, I don't know if it's more of a mental thing or if it's like maybe the damage in the nose. Like, maybe when she gets hit right there in the bridge of her nose, maybe she might need surgery there. Maybe, I don't know, but like, she starts to slow down. And as a striker, she doesn't really have great head movement either. I don't think a lot of people mention that, but she'll bleed by the first round. Cynthia Calvillo drew blood on her. I believe Montana did. Of course, Viviana Rujo did. Lauren Murphy did. Jojo, I believe, did. I'm guessing now. Roxanne did in one of them fights. But yeah, that's the one thing I don't think a lot of people mention, but I've mentioned it quite a few times in videos, that Andrea Lee, she can strike offensively, but her defense head is still on the line. And if Macy Barber come up the middle with one of them elbows or one of them clubbing right hands, hey, that's going to change the course of the fight too. But back to what I was saying about Andrea Lee's like tie clinch, it's effective too. You know what I mean? Like when she can get that tie clinch to her head and she start throwing those knees to the body, she's got to use that like in a very smart way. You can't stay in there too long with Macy because that's when Macy might go in and press you to the cage. So I think land a few knees to the body, chest, break with elbows for Andrea Lee, go back to the center with the jab, set up head kicks. Don't be trying to get into a physical fight with Macy Barber. I know Andrea Lee's a big fighter and she's strong, but when I saw what was going on in the Arujo fight, I was like, yo, nah, this ain't gonna work. Arujo was muscling her and taking her down, and when she gets muscled and gets put on her back, she can get worn out. She can get worn out. So this is a fight where she could just clearly win with tie clinches and just kickboxing from the outside, I believe. And that's just looking at her level of skills here. Maybe a judo toss here or there because she has that ability, but I'm asking for a lot here. I know I'm asking for a lot. You say you agree with most of that. Yeah, for the most part, that's just kind of what I've been just looking at some of the fights that she's been in. You said, yeah, I can't stand Macy, but I can't hate her. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's nothing really to hate about her. She says a lot of things I can't stand, of course, like when she says Miranda just started grappling or just started learning jujitsu. I was like, huh? Miranda's a brown belt. She's been doing this. Or like whenever she said Aaron Blanchfield was an average fighter. She like, I don't hate her at all. No, like I like this talk actually because then I can prove it wrong. I love the talk. I love it because then I can go back and just do a video and say, oh, you know what? Macy Barber's a fighter, but hey, she's wrong. You know what I mean? Calling Aaron Blanchfield average. No way, So I can't hate anybody that, gives me entertainment like that. I can't hate anybody that's entertaining. Entertaining as a fighter and whatever comes out of her mouth either, makes me laugh or gets me more into the MMA for it, just for that reason, just because of the character. Like Macy Barber's a character. Jox will say any updates on Manon. Still training. Still, I think they're looking for either August and that or September, either one of those return dates. But it's looking like they're trying to get a Santos or Blanchfield fight. But just back into training, back into working, actually MMA training. No more, not just therapy, but Manon's back into training, but no fight news yet. No fight news yet. But yeah, she's back in the gym working. Okay, Slider Mindset. I think Barber just has that grit that most of the OGs in the division lack. I agree. A lot of the up and comers seem to have a lot more grit and hunger in them. They do. They do. Like that's something you can't teach. I guess it comes from the era that some of these girls are coming up in. But then again, I can't say that because some of these young kids now are soft as well. Like some of the young kids are soft. Like I just think it happens to be like a special crop. Like Aaron Blanchfield's grit, I think that's just how she was born. I think it comes from like the old school people she worked with, like maybe from her dad, because he gave her the nickname Cold-Blooded, right? Yeah, I think, it was her dad that gave her the nickname Cold-Blooded Aaron Blanchfield or Aaron Cold-Blooded Blanchfield, however you want to say it. Like her dad gave her that nickname. So I think it just came from being around some of them old heads that puts that competitive bone in their body that says, it's about being better and not always about kill or be killed, but just making sure that you're not dying in there. And I was like, I'm not dying. You are. That's the kind of mindset Aaron has. Casey O'Neill, talk about her skills, but, she's a fighter with that type of grit. She's got that type of grit that makes you say, okay, she'll call anybody out. Will she get to the top? I don't know, but she'll fight. She'll fight. Barbara, the thing I like about her though, Macy Barber, is still the same talker, but she's getting better as a fighter too. Like Macy Barber as a talker and a fighter that can go 3 rounds and she doesn't quit. Like I said, she's never been broken in a fight, right? I haven't seen Macy broken in a fight. Macy Barber can be the biggest threat at flyweight if she can continue to just build as a fighter, because she's young, she'll take on anybody. But the thing, she was lacking the skills, but now she's added some new tools to her game and she's got a good team. So that's definitely going to make her more dangerous if she can keep doing what she's doing. A hell of a lot more dangerous than like a Lauren Murphy or even like Caitlin Chikagan if she keeps doing what she's doing, right? Santos, Tyler Santos, she's another one. She's a beast, fighting forever, in gritty, from gritty Brazil up to now, a lot of fights, Muay Thai fights on her resume, a lot of finishes. These girls are tough, man. Outside of myself, I think if Barbara lets her hands go, she'll be very effective against Lee. Yeah, I think so too, man. Because like I said, with that head on the line, Macy Barber has a clear target. She's got a clear target. Barber, it's all about getting there first because Barber, she might eat a shot or two, but just understand Lee's head's not going anywhere. So you can always land some big shots. If Lee allows Barber to pressure her, then it'll be interesting for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Jock. So yeah, if Manon can do UFC Paris this year, I think that would be a good card. Like if they could put her on like the pay-per-view card with Aaron Blanchfield, that would be a good fight. Santos makes sense if Santos can get there. Yeah, or Santos, yeah. But that means Santos been out for like over a year, man. Like I would definitely favor Manon in that one. I think if Santos was out like a good 15, 14 months, man, Santos need to fight now. Santos need to be fighting Lauren Murphy last month. Santos should have been fighting Lauren Murphy last month. Or not Lauren Murphy, but Caitlin Chikagan, sorry. She should have been fighting Caitlin Chikagan 2 weeks ago, man. Gabby said, what era is 115? Era 115 is like that 2014 era. That's when they first built that division and brought it in with the Tough House. So it's like 9 years old now. It's like the beginning. That's like when the UFC just started, letting women in, because the first WMMA fight was in 2013. So yeah, like strawweight division was from the early era. It was like right there in that first year. And they brought in like a good crop of women too, and like fighters that represent, WMMA at the time. Like you had bantamweight, but there's like, let's bring some smaller women in here that, might bring in more eyes, you know what I mean? So yeah, 115 was that very, very first era. Even at their worst and in defeat like Maverick, Barber, Casey, etc., definitely show their grit and willingness to get down and dirty and bite down their guard, just push through it. So they're dangerous. I've been trying to tell people them losing this early in their careers at such a young age would definitely benefit in the long run. Yeah, I agree with that, man. Like that's the thing. Like, well, yeah, when you bring up Maverick too, like people don't understand. Like she already came into the UFC with a loss, a couple losses, right? But that just builds her as a fighter. Like those type of fighters, like Aaron, Maverick, Barber, they've lost, but like they haven't like lost. Like they haven't like been broken mentally in a fight, and they haven't been like finished in a fight. Like you can see it in them. Like even in their loss, they're still there. They're still there. So it's like they got a grit about them. They got a real grit where they'll come back stronger, or they won't stop. So I said, don't get me started on Blanchfield. I said Blanchfield's legitimately scary. She has that octagon bully energy. Yeah, she does. Like that's what I'm saying. Like some people think that Blanchfield is like cocky. She's talking all this trash. But man, Blanchfield is just like confident. You know what I mean? Like if you coming in there that young, you got to carry yourself the way you do. You know what I mean? Like Blanchfield has to carry herself with that type of energy. If you don't, people can try to walk all over you. Like you see now, like people don't want to give her full credit for the Jessica Andrade fight. I know it was a short notice, but All these people out here, the same ones that don't want to give her credit, they're the same ones that said Blanchfield was going to get stopped. You know what I mean? They all said Blanchfield was going to get stopped. But here, she goes in here, beats a former world champion in legit fashion for somebody that has never fought a top 10 fighter. I give you credit for that. I give Blanchfield credit for that, man. So that's why she is the way she is, too. Like, she got that energy like, yo, I don't care who this is. I ain't got time to shake hands. I ain't got time to be too overly friendly. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I'm not letting my guard down here. Every moment that we're in this cage together is a moment you have a chance to defeat me. So I'm not sleeping. Erin doesn't sleep. Erin don't sleep when she's in there. She's very focused. Different type of focus, man. Different type of focus from some of these old heads that were in here too, man. Like, you can't teach that stuff. Yeah, as much as like Barber and O'Neal annoy people, and she can talk all this trash. You can't say, oh, they're cowards. Like, you can't say that. You can't say that about this generation of fighters though. Like, that's on to come up. None of them are cowards, man. The E-Boss too. You throw her in there, man. She's a wild one, man. I mean, she be all bubbly, but she's got this energy about her. Like, when she's in there, she's a different person. Amanda E-Boss is a killer too. Let's see. Sleight of Mind said, people who say short notice is crazy. A fighter is a fighter, period. On any day and anywhere, a fighter is a fighter. I agree with that, man. I'm gonna tag that right there. I agree with that though, man. Like, that's how I see it, man. That, especially when you've been fighting for this long, man. Especially when you've been, come on, man. Like, when you've been fighting for this long, and you take a fight on short notice, just like back in the day, you got a fighter like, let's see, Sam Langford, Joe Lewis, Sugar Ray Robinson, any of these guys back in the day, taking fights on short notice, they're not going to make excuses when they lose, because they're like, hey, you know what? I'm a fighter. If I come up short here, hey, I came up short, but I knew the risk going into this fight. So, like, even for Andrade taking this fight, a lot of people would say, oh, she didn't train right. She was on vacation. She was doing it for a check. Even Valentina said that, like, oh, she was just doing it for a check. That's no excuse. You should be prepared for somebody that hasn't fought a top 10 fighter. If you answer the call, of course you have to be in that type of condition, but you know what it takes to be in what type of condition at this point. Especially for Jessica Andrade. She took that fight because she thought she could knock her out. She thought she was going to be easy fight. Thought that was going to be some easy work and some easy money right there, but that didn't happen, So she was prepared, because she said it herself at the press conference. She was like, you know what? Hey, just coming off this other camp, I'm good to go. The weight cut's not too rough. Hey, I'm good. We're going to get in here. So Andrade gave y'all that. She gave y'all that presentation that she was ready to go. Everybody went with it. I was kind of teetering too now. I was like, you know what? Because again, I was like, this is short notice, but this is still Jessica Andrade. So I was like, you know what? Jessica Andrade might go in here, stop my girl Blanchfield. But I said, you know what? Forget that. Forget that. Blanchfield going to do this. She got the skills. Watch her whoop her. And she did. She did. And I give her full credit, man. I give her full credit. I think she would have stopped her even if this was a full training camp. Andrade just wasn't ready for it like that, skill-wise. That's how I see it. So I'm not on that train with people saying it was like too easy, you know what I mean? Like, because it was a short notice. Andrade's a former champion. Yeah, she's been there. She's been near or top the two divisions that when Blanchfield worked for is legitimate. Exactly. That win Blanchfield worked for is legitimate. Yep. A fighter is always prepared, or at least expected to be. This is mixed martial arts. People can't say she had to face a wrestler on short notice. Again, this is mixed martial arts. Right. Yeah, you can't say you have to face a wrestler. I was like, you've been doing this for this long. You should already know what to face. You should know what I got to bring out, what tools I have, what tools I can use to intimidate this girl, what she's about. All of that should be second nature by now. muscle memory. You know what I mean? When you get the moving in there, it's just another day for you. It's just a little bit quicker than usual, but when you answer the call, you're saying that you're ready. You're saying that you're ready. You're saying that there are going to be no excuses because I'm ready. Short notice, yeah, because we're used to seeing fighters have regular turnaround, but when you answer the call, you're ready. Only one not wanting to give her credit was Valentina, and we see what happened. Right? Yeah, Valentina didn't want to give her credit, man. Like, I mean, I was like, come on now. I mean, it was probably because she destroyed her in quicker fashion, and well, they both finished her in the second round. I mean, so Valentina can't be salty about that now. Like Valentina can't be salty. They both finished in the second round. Like, get a girl credit, man. Like, if she really watching this division, she would have gave Blanchfield full credit because she would have said, you know what? Blanchfield ain't fought anybody in the top 10. Everybody she fought was 15 and below. Right? And then she would have said, dang, this girl who just beat unranked fighters destroyed Andrade in 2 rounds, like me. I would give her credit. That's come on, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Like just give her credit. Because you see Casey O'Neill, hey, didn't beat Jennifer Maya. And that showed that level, so you got to give credit. Manon, she was supposed to fight Jessica, I remember, but they gave her a higher opponent in Jennifer Maya, and she showed up, leveled up, showed out. So it's the same situation to me. A fighter is expected to be capable and prepared to take on any challenge presented before them. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's always good to have that time, but the thing is, like Brian, you're putting your mind because Brian said it isn't it better to have time to prepare for the opponent? Always. Like, I think it's always good because there is a natural turnaround time for fights, right? Just for your body to heal. But you got to look at the situation too, even for like a fighter like Andrade. You know what I mean? You've been here time and time again. You should already know what you have to prepare for, what you're going to be capable of, like how much damage did your body take last time out, right? So when you're answering that call, to me, you're saying that I'm ready, no matter what, right? And that's what the odds are saying too. Everybody's agreeing with you that you've been here before, so you should know. You should know what to do. But yeah, it's always good to have. I mean, like when you're preparing for like competition, any type of competition, yeah, you're gonna have your regular turnaround, 5 months, 6 months. That's when your next fight is. But you're saying that I'm special. That's how I see it. When you take a short notice fight, you're saying, hey, I'm special. I don't need that extra time. What do I need that for? We going in. Yeah, we can't overlook the new fighters. They have footage on everybody at the top. Valentina should have expected this. Her style has been the same since the beginning. Fighters have time and countless footage on their side. They have a lot of preparation capability. You know what? And I didn't know, sleight of mind, like I didn't know it'd be Grasso to be the one to do what I've been saying on this channel. Like I kept saying, Valentina has a lot of footage out. And all of these fighters, they have to do is keep studying her. And here I'm looking at Santos and Manon and them and Blanchfield, which they're at the top, but all the while is Grasso over here coming up with a pure game plan, doing what I was saying, like study her. And I know some people were like, oh, you can study, but Valentina's still going to knock you out, right? That's what people's words were. When I just say it in general, I just say to beat Valentina, there's a lot of footage out there. Just study the fighter, right? Just study her day and night. Look at what she does right. Look at what she does wrong. It's not that complicated. If you are a fighter, it's not. It shouldn't be. So that's what I'm saying. But who would have thunk it? Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it being that Grasso to be the one that was studying, and came up with that perfect game plan and turn her style into nightmare for Valentina. Like something Valentina ain't never seen before. So a lot of respect to Grasso for doing that. Like she ain't going there swinging for the fences, looking for some fluke type of win. She actually did her homework and met Valentina in every round. She was behind. She was behind a little bit here and there, but for the most part, Grasso was winning the war. Like Grasso was winning that war. She was winning that war when it came down to the mental. The mental, you could really see that. Even though there were times she was falling behind, she was still in this fight and ready to go, ready for whatever. So that was, yeah. I didn't see that coming, man. I was like, dang, Grasso's the one that pulled that out. She did it. She studied them tapes and said, hey, we found something. We found many things. and that's what I'm saying, man. Like that's why I always say like this too sleight of mind. Like I give Valentina 100% props for her discipline and her dedication and her training regimens. But I'm never going to say somebody's like unstoppable or like they can never be beat. You know what I mean? Like somebody out there is watching them. You know what I mean? Somebody is out there watching you all the time. So it's like I can't just go on and say, oh, no, it's hopeless. Nobody's ever going to beat Valentina. No, the more fights there are, the more chances somebody's out there really studying her and they could beat her. So I'm never one to just say, oh, this person's invincible and that's it. I didn't know, again, if Grasso was going to be the one to do it, but nothing's impossible, man, this game. Have you heard about Ivana Petrikova and Melissa Dix? I've heard about Ivana. I've heard about Ivana before. I've seen her fight. I was watching UFC Fight Pass a little bit, and I've seen her fight a couple of times, like a year or so ago. Because I think, yeah. I've seen Ivana fight before because I think she fought one fighter. Well, she fought Chanel Dyer in like amateurs. Chanel Chanel Dyer was in the amateurs like a few years back. I remember them fighting. Yeah, so I seen a few of her fights. Still a little early to tell. Where she's at, but eventually, maybe when she goes over to Invicta, we'll see some more from her. Melissa Dixon, I need to see a little bit more from her. I haven't really seen too much on her. I remember seeing her name a couple of times on UFC Fight Pass, but yeah, some of them just passed by sometime, and I don't really get a chance to fully watch them. But Ivana Petrikova, yeah, I've seen her. Petrovic, yeah. Okay, they're both fighting on April 7th. Okay, cool. Oh, that would be that's good. Let's see, because let's see, Melissa Dixon. Okay, Melissa Dixon's a bantamweight. Okay, always looking for some new bantamweights. Okay, undefeated bantamweight. Always looking for some bantamweights up in here. Okay, but yeah, man. I think we talked about everything over here. But let's see, Jojo. Did I talk about Jojo a little bit before I go? Like I said, I'm chilling today, man. Not much going on. I'm gonna watch this ONE FC tonight. I think it starts at 7. Yeah, if y'all gonna watch ONE FC, I think the prelims start at 7 p.m. on YouTube, and then on Prime at 8 p.m. You got Soe Holm taking on Itsuki Harada in their co-main event. I think it's a co-main event. I'm not sure, but it's on the main card. I'm gonna go with Soe Holm in that fight. It should be a good one. All right. But yeah, Jojo has expressed wanting to fight Lauren Murphy, and Somebody asked me about that, and I was like, you know what? Hey, as long as like that's a fight just to kind of maybe wrap up her contract, I could see that being a fight that she could do. But if they try to build off of that fight, like Jojo would, beat Lauren Murphy, put her back in like the top 10, I think that'd be a danger to her, man, at this point. I think it would, Jojo taking on um what she call it, not so lucky Lauren. She takes her on, beats her this time around in a rematch. I wouldn't want to see her fall into like number 10 or 11. Then they match her up with like Casey O'Neill or Macy Barber or even Vivian Arujo at this point. I'd be like, oh, no, that's not good. I think, yeah, JoJo just kind of has to fight, in the 15 and below realm, because I think even Miranda would be dangerous for her at this point. Um, Maybe a Montana fight, maybe JoJo and JJ. That would be interesting. But so let's see, you got JoJo, JJ, and Juju in this division. Yeah, but other than that, like I don't see her getting back into that title shot realm or even like near that realm. It'd be too dangerous for her, man. Too dangerous for her. Matter of fact, let me pull this interview up here. I just want to hear what she said about fighting Lauren Murphy again. Because the first fight was close. I thought JoJo did win, but when you looked at it, Lauren Murphy definitely secured herself a good round with a takedown. In the second round, like almost had a good finish, almost locked in a finish. Let's see. Okay, so JoJo got one more fight on her contract. Let's see. Okay, so she wants to come back sometime this year. Okay, early as possible. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, Darby, what's up? He said, Jojo needs to accept no wrong. She's no longer a real contender. Yeah, I think it's just all about fun fights, in my opinion. Fun fights, I think that's like the best thing for her. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, like she said, if she fights out her contract, we got one more fight, she would think about hanging it up, which I think that's an option. I think either just the fun fights, like the exhibitions, like I like to call them, that's the best thing for her at this point, or hanging it up, because I think best year is definitely behind her. I mean, at this point, I think JoJo's just one of them type of fighters that just like to fight off the high, like to show up and just, dish it out, take it. But to me, I just think really if there's not really a point where you're going anywhere with it, there's really no reason to stick around, especially if you have a family now, in my opinion. Because I think, when you're fighting to be a champion, the point is, of getting better each time. So you don't always fight the same and just take a beating, right? It's about getting better as a fighter and taking less punishment each time to show you are the better fighter, right? But for some people, it's about going in there. It's like therapeutic to them. They want to take the beating and they want to draw blood and they want to get the crowd hype. So that's one way to look at it. But to me, if I look at it in the champion mind state, it's like, yo, we got to not do the same thing we did before of taking this much punishment. You know what I mean? Um, but when you look at it like, okay, Lauren Murphy's number 7 and JoJo's ranked unranked. She was to beat her, man. It would put her right back in the mix, right in the smack dab in the pool of sharks right now. And to me, that's like, that's not where you want to be. Up, you got the deadly girls. Down, you got more deadly girls that are hungry. The fighters like the O'Neills and Barbers, Tracy Cortez, Ebos. Let's see how that would work. JoJo taking on Ebos at this point. You know what I mean? Like, that's why she called out Lauren, because I think she know Lauren is a more doable fight. That's a good way to finish her contract. Lauren's a fighter that she felt like she won the first time, so that fight would be more so doable because Lauren's in the same position now. Lauren's hasn't lost as many times as JoJo, of course, but she's taken some hard punishment in that Andrade, even in that Valentina fight. Let's see. Brian said, talk about this recent phenomenon where these ladies are winning fights with great game planning. Um, oh, do you mean like as far as like in camp? You mean like a lot of these girls that are just like executing good game plans now? Yeah, I just think that all comes a part of I think it comes from two different things. I think it comes with, a lot of the fighters understanding that they have to be well rounded now. That this is the era of like this is the era where that's kind of weeding out the one dimensional fighters, or I think you can be a specialist, but I still think you have to have other skills too besides being a specialist. So to me, a specialist and one dimensional they're different to me. So I think that a big part of these girls have great game plan is because they're becoming more so well rounded. And a lot of these fighters are getting with better camps. They're getting with camps that they can relate to. Some of these fighters, they have better chemistry and better relationships with their trainers. So their fighters are with trainers now that aren't holding back. They're not with any yes men that are just going to BS them. That they're with people that are telling them, hey, this is what you need to work on. So that's how you get great game plan. Like for Alexa Grasso, I think sight of mine, he can agree that she was in the camp this time around, or I won't say this time around. It's probably always been like that, right? But I think she's had people in her corner now telling her that this is it. Like, you can't just do the same training. Like, everything's got to be extreme. Your discipline has to be off the charts. You can't BS this time. This is what we have to work on, and this is how we're going to do it. So I think having people that are going to tell you how it is and like it should be is how these fighters are getting these better results now. Great game planning. If you look at Erin Blanchfield, same thing with her. You getting fighters in the cage getting good advice while they're in the fight. I had to go back and look, and you heard Erin Blanchfield's corner, telling her how to stay in there and not back up from Jessica Andrade. You know what I mean? Like, that's game planning on the fly. That's great advice on the fly. Like, when Andrade hits you, don't back up. If you're not hurt, don't back up, because that's how you show weakness. Just things like that. These fighters are getting these fighters are getting put these fighters are being put on another level now because of I think those couple of things, becoming well-rounded and having people in your corner that are going to let you know the real. If that's what you meant about this whole thing, that was kind of on the fly, but I know what you mean about these girls now that are just winning. They're pulling out these victories by just becoming better. Jan Janan, taking on Mackenzie Dern, like, she's got with the right people to counter what Mackenzie Dern can do. She's doing a lot of good things, man. Like, these fighters are just really, really understanding now. And you have to have a trainer, man. You have to have trainers that are going to tell you, man. You don't. Well, they'll tell you, but you have to do it. You got to humble yourself and do it too. You got to want to do this. You got to want to do it. Marcus said, yep, like training camps that are telling you you're doing great, that you're doing great, and you're really not. Right, like yes men. Yeah, like I said, yes men. Having them yes men just saying, oh yeah, you look good. Yeah, right. Yeah, same with Pena. Yeah, Pena. But Pena got to come back stronger in his rematch. But yeah, Nunes. Yeah, like I said, Grasso. Maya. Yeah, Maya. She wants to get back into the mix. She's got to start listening. Got to start listening and start applying it. But I mean, I'm about to get out of here anyway, though. But yeah, that's an interesting topic. I might come back and visit, because it's just going around now. Like, you can't just do the same old thing anymore, and you can't have trainers that are going to give you a soft touch. You got to be in there with somebody that's going to break you down, kick your behind in training. So when you get into the actual fight, you're built. Just like when muscles tear, you got to be torn down mentally. So when you get in there, you are ready to go. You're in fighting shape. Your mind's in fighting shape. Tear that mind down and put that person through a little bit of, hell, kick their behind mentally, put it on them in the gym. So, not saying you got to like torture somebody, but you know what I mean? Like, you know what to do. So those trainers have to break them mentally. So when they rebuild and get in the actual fight ain't nothing. You know what I mean? But that's all I got, man. I'm about to jump off of here. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit that like button. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all had some good comments again. And like I said, that's a good one. They're talking about this game plan, and we might have to revisit So we're gonna get to, we're gonna get back on. I might do a video talking about that. But yeah, ONE FC is on YouTube at 7 p.m. and then it's on Prime at 8 p.m. with the main card. Okay. So I'm gonna be watching those tonight. I mean, will I get on and do the Sohyam fight? I don't know. Maybe. But I might be laying back watching it. Eating too. I'm hungry. Angela Hill is helping Ducote with her training. Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. I know Yasmin Haurigi was helping Angela. I know Angela Hill was helping Yasmin Haurigi with her training, but that's what's up, man. I mean, gotta get that work in, man. Ducote, she gotta learn how to be a little bit more elusive, not as stiff. That's a good striker to train with. She's a striker, and Angela Hill's a solid striker. She's got some things that she could use. So get that work in. Let me see. Let me check their IG. Who else is in there working? Teresa Blader is working with Panny Kianzin now, Oh, yeah. So you got Kat Zingano out here, Emily Ducote, who beat Panay right next to her. Then Angela Hill, who beat Ducote. Then you got Alima Lay and Tina Pettigrew out here. Kat Zingano out here helping Angela Hill work on that wrestling. Boy, yeah, that's what she needs too if she want to get sharp again. I mean, yeah, they all can learn something from each other, right? Yeah, I was just looking at the photos. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. But yeah, hit that like button, y'all. I'm getting up out here. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.